good morning. Welcome to Stampin' Chat. It's Tuesday, 29th of June. I can't believe where the time is going to. We're nearly in July. Lots of exciting things happening in July, as well as being a demonstrator and being a customer too. So let me just check I'm live in the right place. Hopefully we'll have some company this morning. I think I'm in the right place. All is good. Oops. So how are we all? I think the weather is on the up from what, I just looked at my Velux and now it's actually drizzling. So I do believe that we are going to get a bit of an improvement with the weather moving forward. So it's a couple of you hopping on. Please do say hello. I'd love to know who is out there. This morning I'm going to be stamping with the Tidings and Trimmings stamp set. It's in the annual catalogue. It's a Christmas stamp set, but I want to show you that you can use it for non-Christmas as well. So morning Vicky, how are you? Hope you're keeping well. So yeah, my plan is it'll be one of my focus bundles this month because it's got a fabulous set of dies that come with it. But I plan to try and not share anything Christmas with it until next month, being the following month, which will be August. My MacBook has thrown me out. I'm not sure what's going on with our internet at the moment. We've got like the fastest broadband you can get, but yesterday it was being a real pain and it's just thrown me out again. I know I'm still live, I can see I'm live, but bear with me just while I refresh. I like to be able to see what you can see so that I can make sure I'm in shot. So it just means I miss out on a few comments when it throws me out. So I was trying to catch up with Belle. I don't know if you're watching. I was trying to catch up with Belle's live and I can get into about the first 8 or 10 minutes and then it just throws me out. And if I try and zoom forward, it's a nightmare. So I've watched the beginning, Belle, several times, so I can probably repeat everything that you say. So morning Ellie, you're going to be crafting this morning. You've got some thank you cards to do for teachers. That's brilliant, great idea. When will the summer holidays be? End of July, I guess. Are you getting ahead of time? Morning Ruth, how are you doing? Yeah, the reason you didn't hear me knock, Ruth, was that I didn't knock. I dropped your goodies and ran. I was on a mission to get stuff done yesterday. So, and I always thought it was kind of dinner time and I was a bit wary about knocking on people's doors when it's sort of dinner time, might be preparing dinner. So, and you know what it's like, someone comes to the door and then you chat and you don't anticipate chatting for long and before you know it, you've been stood there for like 20 minutes. So yeah, I kind of ran. Okay, so this morning, I'm super excited about my projects. I was creating them yesterday, had a vision over the weekend, and came up with some ideas. And my inspiration on this set, I knew it was going to be a focus for next month, as in Christmas things for, when I say next month, we're still in June. For August, I was going to be planning to use Christmas projects end of July for August with this stamp set. And having already bought the DSP, you know, I wanted to be a bit ahead of the time. So morning, Julie. Oh, is it cold in New Zealand? Oh, bless you. I don't like the cold. I hate being cold. I like being cozy and warm. I have to layer up in the winter, several layers just to keep my body going. So, yeah, so the Tidings and Trimmings, I had an idea. Well, Belle in my team, she is such an inspiration. You need to go and take a look, watch her video. She's over on Inkabelle's Stamping Spot. I just love her ideas. She's fab and she's very inspiring. And she commented about this stamp set. So I'd kind of looked at it as a Christmas stamp set, and then she mentioned about the images in the set being very non-Christmassy, and it really got me thinking about how are we going to get more value from this stamp set. So anyway, I've talked for long enough. Let's put you down to my desk. Hopefully I won't give you a shot of my ceiling like I did on Saturday morning. Move everything out of the way, and I'll share some more projects with you later as well, so bear with me. See the palm of my hand. And might I just add, I have a poorly palm of the hand from all of the gardening that I managed to achieve over the weekend. Let's zoom in a bit. Wait for catch up. Yeah, I had such a list on Saturday. I think when I came live, I was on a mission of like, I want to do this, this and this. And in my head, I knew I probably wasn't going to get half of it done. But I did manage to achieve like little like power hours of some of the things that I needed to do. So I managed to get my car cleaned, only hoovered on the inside. I didn't get to wash it. I managed to do some ironing. I did some gardening. Didn't get to do any painting, but that will come. So yeah, I felt a real good sense of achievement. I tackled a border in the garden that was so overgrown. It was embarrassingly overgrown. But look, gave me a blister and it popped as well. That is definitely TMI, but it is so sore. And I'm not really a wimp. I've got a really good pain threshold. So anyway, back to the task in hand, she says, waffling. Look how beautiful this is. I absolutely adore this set. For Christmas projects, it is going to be fabulous. I cannot wait to get out my cherry cobbler ink and begin inking up some of these images using I'm just checking my comments, using these stamps. So really excited to do that. It's going to be fab. And then to go with it, let's tape the grid. As I just got it straight and then moved it. I think we're still straight. This catch up, honestly, I'm going to go that way a little bit. Yeah, the catch up is a bit annoying, but... So yeah, the dies, the Christmas trimmings, obviously you can buy these both on a bundle and save yourself 10%. But look how gorgeous they are. And look how you've got these kind of non-Christmassy dies in here. I know we've got holly and we've got a stocking. We've got stars, which could be every day, and they are brilliant for masculine and boy cards, for those kind of projects. Absolutely love this. You're going to be seeing me using this today. Of course, you've got the holly. You know, some of these could be perceived as very Christmassy on the right project, but I will be using this one today. So absolutely love these. The DSP that goes with them, I have shared because I've been using it on my projects. So at first sight, they look very Christmassy. Lots of like holly and berries and mistletoe and trees. Apart from that one, really. And then on the reverse, so this is called the Tidings of Christmas. Do not forget, we have our DSP sale coming on the 1st, which is Thursday. You can get yourself 15% off this pack. So I will talk more about that after. But the reverse sides, I know we've got this cherry cobbler stripe, which is kind of a Christmas colour, but you could make that into something non-Christmassy. I'm thinking already, just popped into my head then, like a masculine card, using these greens, using this paper, and then maybe a tree with red apples on or something. You know, it's just thinking about what you've got in your stash that will go with these things. This one, although it is kind of snowflakes, I've been using it and I don't feel that it draws you straight to Christmas. I love the stripe, really good masculine one. Another one of my favourites, this in the soft succulent. Of course, when you look closely and focus on it, you've got like boughs there with fir cones and like Christmas fern kind of leaf. You've got holly and berries, and that one's a really good masculine one as well. So a really, really great set. I have another pack already, just in case I motor my way through it. So anyway, the other thing I'm using today is the hand-penned petals, because I'm focusing on kind of the greenery images in this stamp set, and I am using some of the greetings as well. But obviously I can't use these as my main focus because I don't want it to be Christmassy. So I've decided to pull in the hand pen petals and use some stamps from there. So let's have a look at my colour combo. Ruth, thank you for your parcel. You are welcome. This is my colour combo. Bumblebee, Pale Papaya, Soft Succulent, Evening Evergreen and Sahara Sand. So Bumblebee is quite a strong colour for me, but I am using it today. You will see it in small doses. Let's put these out. You'll see it in small doses. And let's bring in my first kit. I have got 3 cards prepared today, but I'm going to see how time goes. I've done a bit of die cutting on the final projects ahead of time, a little bit of fussy cutting. So this is my kit. So quite a bit of white space happening today. Let's get some tools ready. So how are we all? How was the weekend? It feels strange this week to me because I didn't have a grandchild on Monday because they've been away, even though both of the grandchildren have been poorly. Little Evs was very, very poorly, bless her little heart. Won't go into too much detail, but yeah, she had a couple of trips to hospital. She was so poorly, but she is a lot brighter. So yeah, so yesterday was a full-on work day, so I'm probably going to be switching out and taking some time out tomorrow to spend some time with them because they're now back. And that's the beauty about being a demonstrator, and I talk about this all the time. The flexibility to work the hours that I choose is just amazing. So if I have to take time out in the day, I can come over and I can work in the evening. So that's the beauty of it. And now is a really, really good time to join because we have sneak peek of the July to December mini catalogue, which is super gorgeous. Then we also have the designer series paper sale, of course. So a great time to join. Obviously in August we will be having celebration, so that's another good time to join. But if you join now, you will get to see that new catalogue super early before everyone else. So trying to check my comments. Ellie, ouch, yeah, it is really sore. Didn't hurt at the time, obviously. Right, let's focus on what I'm doing. I'm talking too much and not even thinking about what I'm doing. So I've got a basic white base, and as usual it measures 8 1/4 by 5 3/4. I'm going to pop that to one side for the moment. Then I've got another piece of basic white, and this should measure 2 3/4 by 5 1/8. And it's not any measurement specific. I do cut a lot of things at 2 3/4 because you can get 3 of those from 1 A4 width. So I could cut 3 panels. So I am quite savvy about things like that. Now, to start with, I just want to add, oh, look at that. You can see what I've been playing with. Let's just add, I've pulled out my Sahara Sand marker pen because I've almost demolished my crumb cake. And I need to order another set anyway. So, and I'm just going to do some splats on this layer just to add a little bit of something to the background. Now you could stamp with a really small flower stamp, or you could emboss this layer. As I said, my card there's quite a lot of white space going on this one, but I will be introducing a bit of colour into the next card. You know me and colour, guys. Right, let's do some stamping first. So let's bring that back in. Let's have the other side. And from the hand penned, I'm going to use this large image, and I'm going to ink it up with my Memento because I just want it in black. And I find it easier to take my ink to my stamp because it's quite a large stamp. I'm just going to ink this up. Now I'm not using the dies from this set. Literally, I just wanted a couple of flowers to add in to make up for the lack of flowers in the Tidings and Trimmings stamp set. So I've just pulled out from the hand penned again these two stamps, two flower, kind of the fill-in for these two. And I'm going to turn that over because I want to stamp off on one of them. So I'm going to ink up the large flower. And remember, these don't line up exactly. Pop that one down. And then the smaller, second smallest flower, I'm going to stamp it off and just put it down so we get a second generation, just so that they are not both the same colour. Got a bit of graduation there going on. And then all I'm going to do is fussy cut around these. So I don't want anything else other than these two flowers. And I've been racking my brains. I've got a couple of ideas how to use some of the other images in the set for non-Christmas projects, but it's quite tricky when they are specifically Christmas stockings. There's not a lot else you can do with that, but watch this space. We'll see what we can come up with. So yeah, it seems like a strange week already to me. It feels later in the week because... Oh, I need that one as well, don't I? Because I worked yesterday. I'll keep that because I can use those leaves. I've got a whole goo pot. As you know, I love my goo pots for storing little offcuts. And I've got a whole one for hand-penned bits and pieces. So I'm just quickly trimming around here. And then I can do a little bit more stamping. So that's my two flowers. Going to put those to one side for the moment. What shall I do next? Let's bring this back in. I absolutely adore. So you can see in the set, we've got these lovely kind of foliage images. And these are two steps. So if you stamp this outline, you can then fill in with the colour with this solid stamp, and obviously that one works with that one as well, and the same with the little star, which is really sweet. But I'm just using this as it is. I'm going to pull in the soft succulent. Need a scrap, little skinny strip, and I'm going to have one in soft succulent. And then the other one that I really like is this one here. You know, there's nothing specifically festive about either of these two images. Let's just grab a wet wipe. Just going to quickly clean off this one because I want to do it in the evergreen. Going to be very careful because I have had in more ways than one green fingers for the whole of the weekend and yesterday, where I have been playing with this colour. I seem to just get it everywhere, so it's going to go right out of the way over there so I can't drop anything in it. So what did you all get up to over the weekend? Obviously I was live on here Saturday for a couple of hours. I was a bit longer than I was hoping to be, so I did catch up with you, some of you then. Right, let's just cut these out. So we've got the triple leaf, and then I need that one there. The die set also cuts this, which is beautiful. I'll be using that one later. A couple of bits of washi tape. Yeah, so after my live on Saturday, I did want to go out, but I didn't. I got stuck into work. And then had a message from Jason to say that he'd blown his engine up. Hooray. Just goes from one thing to another, this motorsport. He was going really well as well. He's had a bit of work done on the engine and he thought he'd got a problem sorted, and in qualifying his times were really good. And then in the first race, he went and blew the engine up. So anyway, he didn't come home on Saturday night. He started taking the engine apart, ready to get it to the guy that repairs them. Because this car, it's a historic racing car. It's not... Oh, I need to cut that one as well. It's not a newer style one. So it's like a specialist job to repair it. Just run that through quickly. So yeah, anyway, he came back Sunday morning. Of course, I had my day planned, all the things that I was going to do because he wasn't here. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was lovely to see him back. I would rather have had him back Saturday night, but... So I did still get some jobs done over here, and I did loads of gardening. And then we went to visit Sophie and Alex. So yeah, we had a lovely, well, I had a lovely weekend. Jason's weekend wasn't so good, bless him. Right, so I've just cut those pieces out. Now, let's bring in a greeting. I don't know if you'll see it through there. So the greeting I'm going to use is this one. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Now, doesn't that make you want to go into full song? Please don't, because it will remain in your head for the rest of the day. So don't even think about it, because it's way too early for those kind of festivities. Hello, Kim. Thank you for joining us all the way from Sydney in Australia. Nice to have you here. So let's find another scrap. Got a long piece here. So I'm going to take my Evening Evergreen and I'm going to ink up the whole of this greeting. And stamp it down. It's beautiful, this one. I mean, once we start using this for Christmas projects, it's such... I love the mixture of the two styles of font. The other thing I need, and I'm going to have to turn this because I need to see what I'm doing. I'm going to have to concentrate and might not be able to talk for a few seconds while I hold my breath while I stamp. It's this one here, wishing you a joyful Christmas and a happy new year. So let me just check my... Yep, so I'm using that one there. And as you can see, I am just going to ink up part of it. Now, I've cut a whole load of skinny strips because these work really well for what I'm about to do. I'm going to line it on my grid so that it's straight to start with. And then what I'm going to do, might have to do this out of shot, is ink this up, just literally catching wishing you. Okay, can you see that? I didn't get ink anywhere else. Now, if you've got the Stampin' Right markers, they will be fabulous for doing this because you can just colour it in. That was okay. And then I've just got wishing you a. And that is all the stamping, I think. So, oh, Ellie, it was Rosemary's 12th birthday over the weekend. You went for your drive-through KFC and you ate it as a picnic. Oh, lovely. How lovely. Hope she had a lovely time. You went to see Peter Rabbit too. And then you had a family meal on Sunday. That's lovely. So lovely. It's nice that we're actually able to get out a bit, isn't it? It's been a very long time coming. Right, what I want to do on here is more fussy cutting. If you hate fussy cutting, you will struggle with this. But I'm going to start at this end because it's the fiddliest end to cut because of that little loop. So I start at that end where there's the most amount of cardstock at the moment. No idea if this is in shot and you can actually see me, but so just really, I'm kind of quickly cutting, trying to stay close-ish to the inked part of the greeting. When I get to this bit, I kind of just like wiggle my scissors all the way along, just so it's not a straight edge. And it's when you get to this point you realise how tricky this little end piece is, and that by starting it where I started it, because to then cut around that piece when there isn't any cardstock around it is difficult. I don't need that part, but I'm going to keep this. And all I want from here, let's just chop that off. I want the word time. It's quite small, but it's doable. Just about. Got lots of confetti everywhere now. So you can see I have wishing you a wonderful time. So from our, at first glance, Christmas greeting, look at that ink, that's dangerous. We have achieved a greeting that is okay, it will cover bases. Right, I think I can start putting things together. I need to do a little bit of die cutting first though. Got two pieces here. A piece of basic white and then a piece of Sahara sand. And then from the dies, I'm going to pull out this lovely star and this beautiful intricate star as well. Which, if you can imagine that, where's my catalogue? Where has it gone? I think I've earmarked this page in the book, yeah. So if you can imagine that in gold, that does make it look very festive. But in different colours, I don't think it is too festive. I'll let you be the judge. You can give me all the criticism, I can take it. From a girl who wears a heart on her sleeve. Oh, didn't think I was going to move that then. Yeah, I'm terrible. I worry about everything. I take everything to heart, but I am open to feedback of any description. Positive, negative. It's good for business. Okay. Just run that through. And as you can imagine, the Sahara Sand one is a little messy, but it cuts lovely. It doesn't, oh, it's left one little bit in there, but it cuts beautifully. And that was just one run through. Just push some of these pieces out into my bin, and then I'll get the rest out with my take your pick. Have you all got one of these tools? If you haven't, you need one. I use it all the time. They're so handy. They're only about £10, I think. And they come with a couple of extra putty refills, and you can buy the putty refills separately. Right, let's get rid of all of that confetti. Of course, you could put that into a little pot to keep 4 shaker cards. And then what we're going to do to start, let's start layering up. Bit of Tombow. Now, when I'm doing things like this, you could, of course, use the... Oh, now it's gone out of my head. You know, the sticky sheets to add glue. But I just put a little bit on a few places like that. I don't put a lot because it's going to hold itself down, and by the time I stick things on top of it, That's going to anchor it as well. A bit popping out there. So just give that little press for the moment. And then while I've got this layer, let's add some dimensionals. I'm just going to pop 3 on here just to balance it out. I don't feel that I need any more than that. Once things go through the post, they get a little bit squished anyway, don't they? Right, let's move all of you out of the way and come back to this layer. So from the pack of DSP, I've cut myself a strip, and I tend to, every bit of creative time I've had with this DSP, I've used this sheet in this way because you can get so much from it. So just by having a really little skinny strip down here, it adds a lot of interest to your project. So let's take this piece and do a bit of gluing. So you only need a little bit of it, is what I'm trying to say. So if you use it in ways like this, it will go a very long way. So I'm just going to glue it down with just a little amount showing, like that. Check that my ends are okay, and then just trim off. I'm not keeping that, it's too small. I keep a lot of bits, but that's just like, that's being extreme. Okay, just bring in our base. Just going to give that another crease. And then I've also got a strip of pale papaya, and this is 1/2 inch by 4 inches. And strips like this end up in my scraps bag. So I just kind of pull my scrap bag out. Let me show you when I store them in the wallets, in a A4 wallet. And I label them just for ease. And then when I need something, I need a bit of that colour, I will pull that out and work with that on my desk, although it's quite accessible, so I can pull the envelopes in and out. It's just a real handy way, and that way we don't get any waste. So looks like I have cut this a little bit long, so I'm going to just trim it down a smidge. And I'm going to pop it straight down onto the base of my card. So a bit of Tombow on the back, or that could be the front, of course, because it's the same on both sides. And then we'll just lay that down near the bottom, straight if possible. Looks crooked to me. And then I'm going to pop this one over to the right side on top of that. You can see that lovely cherry cobbler pattern on the reverse. Do like that side, and I am excited to play with some Christmas themed projects, but all in good time. A bit of glue up there. Okay, so from the designer pack again, I think this is my favourite sheet of all of them. It's got this lovely, soft, succulent, kind of leafy, that almost looks like a closed up poppy. You know when a poppy is like a seed to start with before it opens up. And then you've got like these little Sahara Sand crosses. And I just absolutely adore this pattern. And again, I've just cut it at 1/2 inch. So if you cut lots of strips or have leftover strips like this, this is just a great way to use them. Just layer them up. And then I'm going to pop this one down. I love the reverse on here as well. So it's almost the same kind of, the same elements, the same images they've used. And then we're going to pop that one just on top of that layer. Like that. I can't remember the last time I went to the cinema, Ellie. I mean, even without COVID, we weren't really big cinema goers, but Another skinny strip. You might end up with strips like this in your scraps, but quite often I will cut a strip from a sheet or a couple of strips because they're just so handy and they just bring in a bit of depth to a project, especially with like a deep colour like this that I don't like to use a lot of. But by having that little skinny strip, it kind of grounds things and also brings in the colour, but without being like overpowering. Oh, that just went all over my thumb. So I'm just going to pop that one down on the top of that DSP layer, like that. Wipe off that Tombow. Have to be mindful. I haven't got my pinny on and I've got white jeans on today, so I've got to be mindful of where I'm wiping my inky fingers. Not that I'm not the kind of person that generally wipes like greasy fingers in my clothes, but you know, like when I wipe off with a wet wipe and then my hands are damp and then I might just like rub on my jeans, but best not do that today. Right, this star is going to come in over on the right hand side. Any way up, and we'll just pop it over here. Little way up, just a little way up from that line, overhanging on that border on the right hand side. And then my lovely, wonderful greeting. I'm going to pop a couple of mini dimensionals on the left hand side, pull the backs off, and then just pop in stay still, a teeny bit of Tombow on the right side, and I'm going to hover it so that it's just catching onto my star like that, and then this end is the one with glue, so to just press that one down while it holds. It might pop up because haven't got a flat surface here for it to adhere to. And then the Wishing You and Time, I've been saving this edge. Can you see how I've been trimming into it for these skinny pieces of dimensional? So we're just going to pop these on the back. Like so, and put these down over by my greeting. So we've got Wishing You. How far over do I want that? Wishing You. Let's just pull the back off. Oops. Wishing you a wonderful time. Now that could be birthday, that could be anything really. Just wishing you having a wonderful time. And then my flowers, give them a bit of a crease in the centre and then flatten them out a bit. So these are both stamped in Pale Papaya, but one is stamped off as second generation. And then we're just going to lay them down here. I've got a bit of an aching back today though. What day was it? Maybe it was Saturday. I did some sweeping out of the back by the snug. Because there are lots of trees down that end of the garden and there were leaves everywhere. It was just really messy. So I did lots of sweeping. My back really doesn't like sweeping, but I did the main of it sweeping, and then what it really needs is that blower thingy that I don't know how to switch on, just to blow away all the fine bits that get in between the patio stones. But yeah, it's like sense of achievement, isn't it? And my theory was if I do a little bit, a couple of little areas around the garden, it will make me feel better, and it really did work. So at the beginning I was feeling very overwhelmed about everything going on in the garden, and then by the end of it I felt so much better, even though I'd only, spent a couple of hours on a couple of different areas. It was like really good jobs, well done. and I made a start. And that's the thing, sometimes we put these things off and we keep looking at them and walking by them, and then once you make a start on it, it's actually not as bad as what you thought it was. So let's just pop these leaves behind this flower over this side. I love these. Then I'm going to pop one down over here. Let's put a dimensional bit under him. And you know, we haven't even brought down the proper garden furniture yet. It's still in my shed by my greenhouse, because we had that really nice spell. Just going to tuck that under there. We had that really nice spell of weather. Just to go a bit further, and then we had that really yucky weather and it went cold, so we didn't actually get to bring it down. Right, I just want to do one more die cut, and it's going to be using this one here, just in a little bit of soft circulum. So I'll just run that through. Yeah, so I felt like I'd really achieved something, even though I hadn't done an awful lot. Just ticked a few boxes and it made me feel a little bit more in control around here. As they say, Rome wasn't built in a day, and we can only do what we can do. I might just snip off that end. So I'm going to tuck that in up here like that. So we're almost done. So it doesn't scream Christmassy to me. Next, what I want to do to finish off is using this lovely little die here. It's got 6 little dots in there, which are great for maybe holly berries, or for anything, for putting on your stars, putting on the top of your stocking. I'm going to use them today. I've cut some out ready, so you didn't have to watch me do that. How many have I got there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to put them in the centres of my flowers. So let's just put a bit of Tombow in the middle. This is where your take your pick tool comes into its own. So let's just squeeze up they're all round the wrong way as well. And just put them in the centres of the flowers. Yeah, last night as well, when I left the studio, which was quite late, because I came back over after dinner, the Hebe it's over by the front door, by the carport, and I took a photo of it and put it on my stories because it's so beautiful, but it's like taken over. When we moved in, they were planted and they were like these tiny, about 4 tiny little plants. We didn't have a clue what they were until obviously they bloomed. And now it's grown into this like huge hedge that is very, very overgrown and needs somebody that knows what they're doing to trim it back, really. My gardener that I had, not last year because of COVID, but the year before, she did cut it right back, but it's kind of gone wild again. But it's such a beautiful colour at the moment, and I wanted to share that because these things don't last long, do they? Okay, so first card done. So that's my creation using the Tidings and Trimmings for a non-Christmas project. Quite a lot of white space, but you know that's kind of how I like things. Let's bring in the next kits, because I have brought in a little bit of colour for this next one. I'm going to use the Bumblebee on this one. Just need to do a little bit of cleaning off because I want to reuse these flowers. And I need to clean this without getting it all over me if possible. Bit of a wobble on. So, again, I thought I'm going to use the same images. So from the hand-penned Petals, and also, just given that one a clean off, the same stars, but I wanted to bring in a little bit of Bumblebee, because for me this is like, it's not a bright yellow, to me it's quite muted. I'm going to put the pale papaya away because I don't need that one just at the moment. So I've done a bit of die cutting ready for this one. So let's fold our base. Yeah, I wanted to bring in, see, look. Just going to give that another wipe in case any of it transfers. Lethal. I wanted to bring in a bit of colour, but not too much colour. And I have got a couple of other creations I'll show you at the end that have a lot more colour. But I think I just love that white space. Not for everybody. Okay, Sahara Sand Ink with my blending brush. You know I'm not shy at sharing my love for this. So I'm going to go straight in with it and just add some colour. I'm going to start gently in the centre and just pull the colour out in like a, focusing mainly down at the bottom. So I'm going to start here because my star is going to go there. So if I get a heavy splodge, it will be covered over. Absolutely love these brushes. You know I talk about them all the time. They just add that little kind of something to a layer. Right, a little bit more down here. And then a bit of splat. In like a triangular. Come on, a bit more. Like that. Looks a bit of a grungy mess at the moment, but it will just finish off. So I'm going to layer this onto a piece of Bumblebee. So my base is as usual 8 1/4 by 5 3/4. My Bumblebee, I've made it quite a lot smaller than I would usually do my first layer, but it's 3 5 inches by 5 1/4. Sorry that I don't work in centimetres. And then the next layer is an 1/8 of an inch down. So 3 1/2 by 5 1/8. And I'm going to pop this straight together. Bit of Tombow if it wants to come out. And just add that with a nice even border all the way around. And then we can go ahead and pop this onto our base, and then we can work on the whole layer together. Oh, where did you come from? They got astray. I'll be using those in a minute. So I'm just going to pop this down. You can see we've got like a nice big white. This is my way of, like, when I add colour, I still like a nice big border. Okay, so same kind of thing as we did before. More of this lovely DSP, and I'm going to cut it just by eye at slightly narrower than the width of that white. Oh, I'm so inky. It does wash off. Our ink does wash off with soap. After like 2 washes, you wouldn't have known it was there. And then we'll just pop that down so it doesn't stain you. It stains you for a bit, but it does come off. And then we'll just pop this one down. It's got Tombow everywhere then because I moved it up towards the bottom. Let's just take a scrap, take off that excess. And then we'll get the adhesive remover on there. Another skinny strip of the Evening Evergreen. In fact, let's use this one up. And I'm going to have it just so it overhangs at that end and also overhangs at this end too. and I'm going to pop it right down in the middle, and it's easier to put the glue on this layer than it is on this skinny strip. So just pop that one straight down on, roughly in the middle, doesn't really matter, but straight is good in my world. Then I've already die cut my 2 stars because you don't need to see me do that again, but we'll just layer them up. So a bit of Tombow, a few dots just to anchor it in place. I don't see the need to add loads, and then all that's going to happen if you do is it's just going to squidge out, get all over your fingers, and then when Tombow dries it becomes transparent, but it can be shiny, so if you've got an excess amount of glue you are going to see it. Oh, got one hanging in there, let's push him out. Come out. Doesn't want to. As before, once my flowers go on, that will hold everything down nicely. So more little mini dimensionals. And then we're going to pop this one down over here. How do we all feel about Bumblebee? Is it your kind of yellow? Sorry, I'm just looking at comments and grabbing a quick drink of water. Next, what I'm going to do, I've already done a bit of stamping actually, is I re-stamped, I've just dropped one, I re-stamped this image in the memento, and then as I did in the previous card, I filled in the 2 flowers, but this time I used the Bumblebee. So I did the larger flower at full strength, and then the smaller flower I stamped it off, so we had 2nd generation, just so we've got a different gradation of colour there. Right, what I'm going to do next is take this stamp again that we used just now, and I'm going to pull in a bit of gold. Now I wanted to use gold, but obviously I didn't want it for it to feel like it was Christmassy, because I always think I associate gold with Christmas, but I think it's fine because it's just a little bit of gold and there's nothing else Christmassy about it. I don't know why I'm getting so paranoid about the Christmas. It's because it's a Christmas stamp set, but I want to really share how versatile this is going to be. So I've got my Versamark ink. I've got, is this big enough? Yep. Strip of, let's bring in this mat. Strip of basic white. I have my trusty embossing buddy. This just helps to remove any static off of your stamping surface. So before you, it kind of prepares it so that the powder, when you put the embossing powder on, it doesn't like statically make all the dust and stuff cling to it that's in the air. So, and then we've got the gold embossing powder. I've had this for such a long time. I'm going to put that in my pot. So we're going to ink up the greeting. I'm going to do it a few times. It's a really sticky, look, ink pad. And it's slow drying the Versamark. So I'm just going to stamp it down. Lift it up. Don't know what that is on there. Put the lid on because we don't want any powder going on there. Open up the powder. I think this is, I've poured another one in here as well. I don't think they are this full. And then I'm just going to tip it over like that. And then knock it off. That's not too bad. I've got where my finger, my thumbprint was there. But if you get a few like stray bits like this one here. Just take a dry paintbrush and just brush it off out of the way. Oops, let's put that to one side. And then what I would do now is take my heat gun and heat it. I haven't brought the extension lead over, but because I can't reach, I wanted to do it in shot, but I haven't brought it. So what I'm going to do is put that to one side, and in true Blue Peter style, this is how, I've got a couple here, this is what we end up with. So a lovely embossed greeting, which as a Christmas greeting, this would be lovely in its own. I know I've missed that bottom bit, but I didn't need it. So how beautiful is heat embossing? It's so simple, and all you need is, most of us have got the heat tool, I know, but you need the Versamark ink and then the embossing powder, which you will find in the catalogue. They come as, shall I see if I can find them? They come as a set now, they're not individually like they used to be. So we have, you can see them there. They're £17 and you get 3 in there. So copper, gold and silver, which is a lovely selection. Good price as well, because they last such a long time. Okay, so let's put that to one side, because in true Blue Peter style, I have one that I prepared earlier. So hopefully you can see how beautiful that is. And I'm going to start with this first. No, I'm going to do a bit more stamping. I was fibbing. I need to just stamp some more for my greeting. So I wanted to use this one again. So I wanted to use the Wishing You A. So let's bring in some more really skinny basic white, and then with the ink pad I am just inking up Wishing You A, and this is in the evergreen, and just stamp that down like that. What did I do on my last one? I put Wishing You a Wonderful Time. So this time we're going to do Wishing You a Wonderful, I don't think you can see that. And then from this stamp, which is this one here, May Your Days Be Merry and Bright, I'm going to do exactly the same. Ink up just that top section. Oh, my finger went in it then. May your days be. Just stamp that down like that. I do love these little words on here. So we're going to have Wishing You a Wonderful Day. Just going to snip it right off like that. Save that little bit. And let's trim this one off while we're here. Wishing you a wonderful day. So nothing Christmassy about that. A bit of gold in there, but let's give these flowers a little crease. Oh, lost my end. Lost my end cap. Not a good thing to do when you use the tool like this. I find it such a multi-purpose tool. So what I'm going to do first is put my word wonderful in, because then that will determine where I want to put those flowers. So a couple of dimensionals again over to the left hand side of my word. Bit of Tombow on the end. Got a little bit there. I hope I'm zoomed in enough that you can actually see what I'm doing. I'm going to see if I can come in a little bit more. Just a little bit more. I'm going to pop that one over here. Wonderful. And then I'm going to snip Wishing U and A. Snip them all up. And I'm going to put them over here. Just wipe the end of my Tombow. Just got a bit of a dried bit of glue there. And I won't refer to that anything other than a dried bit of glue. Oh. So we'll have the wishing. That dried bit of glue is on me now. Come down. Wishing you a wishing you a wonderful day. Oh, actually, I need to just take off a teeny weeny bit. I can just see the S. It's stuck to me now. This is the thing, it is fiddly, but I think it's worth it because it means that you are using these words, wishing you a wonderful day, and then now that's in place, I'm going to pop in my flowers. I'm going to put plenty of Tombow on these so that they hold down this die cut piece as well. Ruth, I can see something on my phone. Do we not sell white embossing powder? Can only find it listed in the basics pack. Yeah, I don't think we do. Obviously the answer around that would be stamping in the craft white and then clear embossing. So I think it's only that multi-pack that we do. So yeah, you can get around that. If you've got the white craft ink pad, you can ink and then put clear embossing on it because that's a pigment ink, so it's slow drying, so it will work. And then put clear embossing powder on it, and then it will give you that shine. Okay, flowers are down, and then I've got a couple of die cut pieces already. I'm going to steal them out of my pot. We'll have that one. And I think I'm going to cut this one because I like this one and I haven't used this one, I don't think, on the other project. So again, a very non-Christmassy die cut piece that's great for filling in little spaces. So what I'm going to do is pop one behind here, quite a lot of white space on there, but it's not going to show. And then we'll pop this one down in behind it, like that. Let's give it a press down. So just a couple of bits of leafage, as I would say in my world. And then I thought, because I'd heat embossed with the gold, I'd find some gold embellishments. These are lovely, these metallic pearls. They'll be a great addition to your Christmas crafting. I've had these a long time, but you get a whole sheet of gold and a whole sheet of the silver. And they're quite a muted silver. They aren't necessarily, they're not like a really shiny silver. And I'm going to put these in the centres of my flowers. Whereas before I used that lovely dotty dye, I just thought I wanted to bring in a bit of gold. Now, of course, I could have used that dotty dye for the centres of the flowers and then popped these in like a triangle position. That would have added a bit of gold bling, but I kind of didn't want it to appear too gold, but just wanted to make it look a bit special. So hopefully you can see that. So that's my second card. How are we doing for time? 11:06. Have I got time for another? I don't know. What do we think? So I was quite pleased with how that turned out. Adding in a bit of the bumblebee to take away the white space. So if I bring back in the other one, I think it does. I love this one because I love white space, but I don't dislike the bumblebee layer on here. That just kind of makes the card pop a little bit. So very the same kind of style, but just slightly different by adding in different colours. Let's do one more quick one because I think I've cut some pieces ready. Where are they? And then I've got a couple of samples to show as well. So this one is another white space one, so it's going to be quite quick. And you can see I've already done some pieces. So I've die cut these ready. Absolutely love these two together, but you could lay them and twist them down for a different look. Just think they're very usable dies in the set. Right, let's fold my base. Thank you, Kim. Thank you. Kim's saying for those on the replay that she likes the cards. Okay, what am I doing first? A bit of Sahara Sand with my blending brush, as previously. And I have got a card to show you after that I used a mask to do, oh, my brain, sometimes it just doesn't get into gear. It's such a horrible feeling. It makes you feel so inadequate. Yeah, used a mask just to add a different bit of, you know, texture to the background. So a bit more over here. Got a bit of a splodge there, but I'm not worried about that because we are going to be covering that over. And to be honest, if you added more from the blending brush, you would be able to sort of blend that in. As I'm doing that, I'm going to add some more splats. Talking of splats, when I went live on Saturday, and I will share those projects again in a moment, I said I was using the splat from the, not getting any splats coming out, from the Beauty of Friendship stamp set. That was a big fib. I didn't even use them. Didn't even use that splat stamp. It was because I'd been using it on the previous cards that I were making before my live, and it was out on my desk, so I presumed I was using it. Okay, so we're back to the pale papaya for this one. I've got a little skinny strip again from my scrap box, and I'm just going to trim it so that it's within the width of my cardstock, my base. And then another bit, I've got a leftover piece, but I don't, let's use that rather than cutting into that strip. And what I should say about this card is that the sketch is from this week's Global Design Project. You need to head over and have a look. That's upside down, but let's put it the right way up. So you need to head over and have a look. And I actually entered that challenge. It was a colour challenge last week. And I was picked as a winner, which was absolutely a lovely surprise. And I think I get to be a guest designer for the following week when we have the next colour sketch. So I'm waiting to hear a bit more on that. So that was super exciting. And I was using colours that I'd already, well, I'd had the Fresh Freesia out already, but I was using stamps that I'd already had out. So, and it came together really quickly because I already had my colour combo. I didn't need to think of anything. So head over there and take a look, because it's so inspiring. It can just give you that head start you need on a project. So as I've said today, this is going to be my entry for the sketch challenge that's happening this week. So my Mac's gone to sleep. Bless it. It's fed up of me waffling as well. Totally zoned out. So I'm going to do exactly the same as what I've done. Let's just pull out those pieces that shouldn't be there. Add a bit of Tombow. Just in a couple of places, just to anchor it down. Yeah, so I thought I'd have a go at the sketch challenge this week, and it's just to give you a really good head start on where you're going. But personally, I work from a sketch all of the time. That's how I work. All of my projects, I sit down and I draw a sketch of what I want to do, and then when I come over here to create, I just look at my sketches, and that's where I start. So as before, and I'll do a blog post on this one as well and share the link to the Global Design Project, and you can see the sketch as well. So I'm going to pop that star down there. I've already stamped my flowers. You've seen me do that. I haven't got any cut out. Just cut them really quickly. Right, this gives me an opportunity to just stand up straight and stretch my back for a moment while I'm cutting. So yeah, so yesterday I managed to get my one of my July class in the post kits designed. I might give you a little sneak peek of that after. Really pleased with how it turns out. So it's again using the Tidings and Trimmings stamps and the dies. It's 3 cards and a little 3D project. And there will be coming a PDF and a class video as well. Let's just cut that one off. Put that to one side. And I still also have to I've still got another class to film. Maybe try and do that this afternoon for my Plentiful Plants. So the PDF is done. I just need to film the class video. And with those, they will be coming up on my events website. I'm just working with my web designer to get that all put in place so that you can then click on the link, purchase the PDF or purchase the class video, and you will automatically get a link direct to it. And then you'll be able to pay by PayPal as well, which is really good. So let's crease these flowers a bit. First of all, I've already cut out my greeting to save time. So again, that was from this large one that I've been using. It's the most wonderful time of the year. And this time, I'm going to put it over this side. So I want a dimensional on the right-hand side, and then a bit of glue on the left. And then we'll just pop that one above this pale papaya strip. Like that. And then we can pop our flowers in. So share a bit of glue. One just above my word. So again, I stamped, this one is pale papaya, and then the smaller flower is stamped off. So we've got that second generation. So a bit of gradient in the colour. The other thing I stamped, I need one of these greetings. Oh, and they're all falling off the table. I need one of these again. And I need, which one do I need? That one. So let's bring in the evergreen. Stamp just the top part so that we've inked up May Your Days Be. As I said before, if you have a marker pen, Stampin' Right marker, you can do this that way by just colouring in that word or that group of words. So I want the word be, and I want May Your Day Be Wonderful. And I'm hoping in my little box, I've got my little pot. Got a bit of leafage. Maybe have that one. And I've got that stamp, so I'm just going to cut that one out quickly. Save me time on stamping. And you know that's what I do. When I've got something inked up, I'll take some scraps of basic white and just stamp several of them and just put them to one side in my little pot so that when I come back to using that stamp set, I've got loads of things ready done. So let's put in the words first, and then we can tell where our greenery is going to go. So I think we'll have May Your Day. Oop, fell right where I didn't want it to. May Your Day Be. Oh, I can't get it. I need it the right way round. May your day be. And I've moved the May Your Day Be. May your day be wonderful. Let's just add in. So the sketch was 2 lines down here and then like a background here and a greeting strip. Really kind of a sketch that's kind of open up to being very clean and simple. So I'm just being careful about where I'm popping these pieces because I don't want to cover over my wordage. This is slightly different to my original because I used another stamped image, but maybe I have, oh, changing the mind. Maybe I have you coming down there. Just going to lift that up a bit. That's better. And then I thought, I've got another one. Let's put this one in as well. As I went to the effort of cutting it out, let's pop that one in down there. And then in the stamp set, I've got this beautiful bow image. So it's up here, it's a lined image. So there's nothing to infill it, but we've also got, luckily, a lovely die that cuts it out. How handy is that? So I thought we could ink this up in the evergreen. I love how it stands out against the soft succulent, and I'm just going to pop that one through the cutting machine. just to finish off down by my greeting. How cute is that? I love that little bow. That's not just Christmas either, is it? Let's give it a bit of life. Make it feel a bit loved. And then just pop it. Maybe down across a bit, like that. And then to finish, again in the centres, and I've cut these ahead of time, just pick those up. In the Sahara Sand, just some little dots for my flower centres. Of course, if you've got some nice embellishments, some rhinestones, some pearls, you could pop these, you could pop these in the place, but I just wanted to show a way of using these little dots. So if you're not one to faff and fiddle, you'll probably just want to put straight down on here an embellishment that's already got adhesive on it. So there we go, that's my finished project. I'll bring in my original because my bar was slightly thicker here and this one was longer, but I just thought it would be nice to use up that smaller piece there. So slightly different, I used a die cut there rather than the stamped image. So there we go. Let's move all of these out of the way for the moment. I've got a couple of things I want to bring in and show you. 20 past 11, we're not doing too bad for time. Close up the inks. Really enjoyed using this colour combo. I think it just works lovely. Bring them back in. So we've got the one with the bumblebee and the gold. I have no idea if this is in shot. Let's just wait for it to catch up for a moment. Put some things away because I'm surrounded by product. I think you can see them now. So we've got the one I did with the gold and the bumblebee, and I've used, these are all greetings from this Tidings and Trimmings. So all Christmassy greetings that I've chopped into to make them into usable greetings. And then obviously this one here that I'm going to be entering into this week's challenge over on the Global Design Project. So I'll probably do a separate blog post on that one. So I've really loved creating those. I had a fabulous time yesterday. Let's bring in, I've got a couple of other ones I can share. These were, while I was playing, these were what I came up with. So this was what I started with, but I felt it was too bright for me, which is crazy. It's not bright, is it? It's not bright. It's just a lot of colour, a lot of bumblebee for me, but I don't dislike it. It's quite fresh and it's quite jolly. So again, I've used bumblebee for this flower, and then I used pale papaya. So I've combined both of those colours. And then the other one that I did was kind of the same but different. I left off the soft sea foam there, but I used this as a mask. This is the trellis paper that goes with the Plentiful Plants suite. And I laid that down first, of course, on my plain white, basic white paper, and then just used my blending brush and then lifted it up. But it was slightly crooked, and after I did it, I wished that I hadn't, to be honest. Or I wished I'd moved everything up a bit. So that was why I didn't want to make those two today, because I didn't love them as much as I did the ones with the white space, but I'm sure you guys will like a bit of colour. I know a lot of you use a lot of colour, so you like Bumblebee, Ellie. Yeah, I don't dislike it at all. It's Daffodil Delight is one I do struggle with because it's so bright. So, but Bumblebee I don't mind. Okay, let's bring in. This was my project from last week's Global Design team. So I was focusing. This was a colour combo sketch. So it was Fresh Freesia, Blackberry Bliss and Pear Pizzazz. So I was really pleased with how that turned out. And I based it on another card that I'd done. I just used the same sketch. In fact, let me bring it in and show you. This is one that I'd done on a previous live. I just used the same sketch basically and switched it out. So quite amazing how if you work on things that you've got around you, how your projects will kind of evolve. And then Saturday's Facebook Live, if you haven't caught it, you can catch up on the replay. But I used the DSP. My focus was on this Tidings of Christmas DSP pack to create some projects with the sheet that scared me the most. And that's that very dark sheet, which is quite intimidating for me because it is so dark. But I was super pleased at how these turned out. So I made a little box and 2 cards. So if you've not seen those, you can head over to my YouTube channel because I've uploaded those ready. So I'm still have mountains of cards around me. As you can see, I'm always creating. So just to remind you that on the 1st of July, we have the Designer Series paper sale. So we've got 9 lovely packs there that all have 15% off. And you can see the Tidings of Christmas is within that. So if I've inspired you to maybe add it to your basket and use it for something other than non-Christmas, then next week, not next week, the 1st, which is Thursday, is the time to get it. And finally, just a quick peek at my class in the post for July. This uses, again, the papers from the Tidings of Christmas, but a bit of Fresh Freesia, a bit of, what have we got in there? Fresh Freesia, Soft Succulent, bit of Evening Evergreen, and using some of the flowers from the Sweet as a Peach. So for those of you that have already got the Sweet as a Peach, might be a good class to go for. So I'm going to leave you with these. Got a little bit of more work to be getting on with. Thank you, Vicky. Thank you. I'm glad you've enjoyed the cards. And I'll be hopefully back with you very, very soon. Just another thing to point out, those of you that have purchased any of the kits collections with me, I'll be doing a live Zoom stamping session on the 8th of July. So if you've ordered from me and I haven't been in touch, let me know if you've ordered a kit and I will invite you along to the group, which will be fun. Get to hang out for a couple of hours. Doesn't matter which kit you've bought. You can just stamp along and create. We can create together. So yeah, and just a final pointer, because I'm mentioning it, I am looking for people to join my team. Now is a really great time because we have sneak peek of the July to December mini catalogue. I am eagerly awaiting my copy in the post. I've seen the PDF online, but you can't beat having that paper version to flick through. So I'm really excited for that. So if you join my team now, you can actually pre-order from the 1st of July. You can pre-order products in your starter kit. So, but anyway, enough on that. There's always information on that. Just get in touch with me if you're unsure of what that's all about joining my team and what it involves and any general questions you've got about it. So, right, I'm going to say bye for now. I'm going to clean up all these stamped inks and probably get more covered in Evening Evergreen. But anyway, take care, guys, on your travels. Sending you wishes from overseas as well to you guys. I know some of you have gone back into lockdown. So, but take care anyway, everybody. And I will see you all and speak to you very, very soon. So bye for now.